Hello, everyone. This is a new episode at Work Theatre. Today we have Karthik at Work Theatre. Welcome, Karthik.
Thank you, Karthik. It's really an honor to be a part of this show, and I look forward to discuss a lot of important aspects
Yes.
today.
Yes, and today we are going to be focusing on marketing and
Right.
branding,
Yeah,
and we think we're going to dig deep,
Yep.
as deep as possible,
of course.
to create value for founders and marketers.
Sure.
And I hope that we can create a masterclass.
Of course, we can definitely do that. Right.
So, firstly, tell me what is marketing?
All right. So, marketing is a subjective question, if you ask me, because that depends on what business you are in and what kind of customers you are catering to, and at what stage of business you are in. Right. Let's say, for example, if a business is a startup, marketing for them would be completely different than a business which is well established. Business, right? But in a nutshell, if I have to put it in a simple words, what marketing is, it is anything and everything you do to reach out to your customer, right? So you are a brand and you do n number of things to sell your product, promote your product, advertise them, maybe create a distribution channel, or sell your product, and finally you have acquired a customer. And your aspect of marketing doesn't end there. Even after you sell, you have to service your customer, right? Service the product. So marketing is also after sales service, how you project yourself, brand positioning, and all of this combined together becomes marketing.
Okay, so let's say I'm going to get started on this. So,
Mhm.
what are the elements of marketing? How do I need to think about that?
Right. Traditionally, let's go back to textbooks. There were four aspects of marketing, which is product, price, promotion, and place. Right. But eventually, they had to figure out, the guys who used to do research and all of that. They figured out that this holds good for a product-based company. Right.
Okay.
What if you are a service-based company? These are not only the elements which is involved in a marketing aspect. So there are other three aspects which becomes an integral part of it, which is people, physical evidence, also called as packaging, and then process. Right. Now, if we have to talk from the beginning, product. What kind of product are you offering? What is the problem your service is going to cater to or solve? That becomes your product. And then pricing. How competitive have you priced your products or services? And then comes your promotion. Now, everybody thinks about discounts and offers when it comes to promotion, but that's not true. What promotion technically means is the kind of messaging you carry with your product. What is the message your product delivers in the market, or when customer thinks of your product, what is the brand recall value they can think of? All this becomes promotion. And place. Uh, Before 6 years or 10 years, probably it would be physically where you used to buy and sell products. But now things have changed, right? So it is not just online, it is online, offline, or multiple channels where people can buy a product. Now, these are the four traditional P's of marketing. And then let's come to people, right? Now, let's say a service based business, it is people who are facing the customer, right? Maybe you have a very beautiful products or services, but a customer is going to interact with your sales team. They should be equipped enough to cater to the questions which a customer has. So there your people became a very integral part or decision maker of your business. And then comes the physical evidence, which is also packaging. Now, if you look at packaging, earlier people did not give a damn about packaging of the product, because they were more concerned about what's in the packaging, right? But these days, if you look at products, maybe whether they are worthy enough or not, they give a lot of importance, and they make sure you get in a nicely packed box and you get the joy of unwrapping or unboxing it, right? So that is physical evidence for you. And then is the process. Now, how do you create or give an experience to your customer? All this accounts for the process, and that's the traditional way of that's the traditional elements which is involved in marketing. But I would say there have been successful business people who have done who are still doing business without the knowledge of all the 7 P's or 4 P's. It is definitely, again, like I said in the beginning, marketing itself is a very subjective way. What works for you need not work for me, but you should have the ability to find out what works for you. So those are the elements of marketing.
Nice.
would say.
Thank you so much for the insight. You know what you said, what worked for you.
Yeah.
So I want to understand what worked for you in terms of your story.
Right.
So how did your story begin?
Well, I really did not had a thought in my mind I would end up here as a marketer because I studied computer application.
Mhm.
So I used to code initially, and I never thought that I would have my own business or I would be in digital marketing or I would be a marketer myself. It was the need of the hour at that point of time. So I did attend few interviews after my graduation, but I was overqualified for few jobs. That was
Okay.
the feedback I got, at least.
Okay.
I don't know whether it is true or not. But what happened is I started business after my graduation,
Mhm.
and we were three partners.
Mhm.
All three of us were techies.
Mhm.
All three of us were developing apps or developing websites or designing and all of that. But there was one important aspect lacking, which is marketing. So there was a lack of sales guy, right? So what we thought is, or at least what I thought is, since I talk a lot and I was like a people's man at that point of time, I thought, why don't I be the sales guy?
Okay.
Anyway, you guys can develop it. I'll get business.
Okay.
So that's when I started exploring the marketing side in me. And that's when I found out, okay, I can do marketing better than I thought myself. And after that, I did MBA, which also helped me a lot. It's not that everybody needs to do MBA, but that definitely helped me in nurture me and kind of help me to polish my skills.
Okay.
And I understood the traditional way and the technicalities and how you should, what you should do, what you should not do with respect to marketing. And that is how I ended up here as a marketer, Karthik.
Nice. I mean, that's a very interesting timeline.
Thank you.
And it's really nice to see the transition and the
Right.
passion. I mean, you
Yeah.
bring about a lot of passion.
Yeah.
By the way, you're talking so systematically about things.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about timelines and how marketing has changed over the years.
Yeah.
Back then, when you started, like what was it like? I think it was mostly offline
Yeah.
and mostly offline focused. And now we live in the digital world,
Right.
like almost entirely.
Right.
So, what do you think has changed?
Marketing, like you rightly mentioned, it was completely different 5 years or 10 years ago. It used to be usually the conventional method which we learned, of course. Either it used to be TV ads, or it used to be hoardings, billboards, or it used to be radio ads. But now, if you look at it, it has completely shifted from the physical advertisements, or the marketing aspects has completely shifted from a physical to a digital one, right? I would still say that there is still the conventional method present, but in a different way.
Okay.
Video ads were the TV ads. Now it is YouTube ads.
Okay.
So the concept still remains the same, but the way we do the things, like the marketing has taken a complete shift from a different channel to another medium, I would say,
Okay.
right? But that would not change. Marketing will not die, but how you market might definitely change in the future generations as well. Coming days, it is going to be like maybe AI driven marketing approach. Maybe you never know, you could watch advertisements sitting in your car, maybe on a digital screen. We would have not thought of it. Or maybe you would just watch it wearing a glass, you would see advertisement. So definitely I will say that there is a shift. It is for good. We have one advantage at this point of time, which is analytics. Previously, when you compare with your traditional method, you never know how many people saw your ad, how many people engaged with your ads. But now, if you compare it, everything and anything, I mean, all the social media ads, let's say Google ads or anything, you are running campaigns of, you can compare and get analytics about each and everything. In a way, it is good and bad because you can manipulate it, of course. Good thing is you still have something to care and measure and take decisions of. So that is how I would say that marketing has shifted or changed from the past to the present, Karthik.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you spoke of this manipulation part. Like,
Right.
Can you expand on this?
Okay. See, I was seeing this advertisement on Instagram last evening. So there is this brand, Encyclopedia.
Okay.
And what they do is the marketing team finds out that there is a lot of clicks and purchase happening on their website.
Okay.
They immediately go to their boss and say, "Hey, boss, see, we have about 1 million orders in the past 24 hours." And the boss immediately calls up the publishing company and places $2 million copies of books.
Oh.
And the publishing company places an order of 5 million papers,
Okay.
right? So it goes, that's how the logistics works, and it goes on and on and on. And finally, the books are printed, packed, and shipped to the respective cities and countries. And when they go back to the click, they find a baby with an iPad. It's just tapping.
Click farms.
Click farms,
Oh,
right?
God.
So the baby is just tapping. So the end conclusion is, don't misunderstand clicks for sales.
True.
Right? So this is not an actual example of manipulation, but my point here is, you cannot mistake your analytics for growth. You cannot mistake your analytics for sales. You cannot mistake your analysis for an income. You cannot decide what you see, but you have to take another approach of understanding, why did you get those clicks, from where did you got those clicks, what actions did you take before the day so that you got these many clicks. Did you run any campaigns? Did you do any promotions? Was it any collaborations with any influencers online? What made you get those clicks? And verify and understand the pattern of it, and look back data of 3 months or 6 months or 1 year, and only then decide. Right.
Okay.
So that is my point on the data manipulation or the decision per se. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say today I want to build a D2C brand, that is direct to consumer brand.
Right.
So firstly, can you explain the difference between B2C and D2C?
Right.
I thought they're both the same.
Right. So yeah. So D2C is a new kind of a business model which is trending in the market. Earlier, it used to be just B2C and B2B brand, which we all are familiar with, right? But D2C is a different kind of approach, direct to consumer, or if I have to put it in simple words, manufacturer to the buyer. Right? Okay. If you have to look at the business model with the B2C model, let's say I'm a toothpaste company and I manufacture toothpaste. What I do is I sell it to my distributor or chains of businesses. There are hundreds of chains of businesses in India. What they do is they buy my product, they stock it, and they sell with a profit to customer, of course, based on the MRP. But that is called as B2C brand.
So it's more of a trading.
It is more of a trading
thing.
There are multiple parties involved after the manufacturer.
Okay.
So the manufacturer doesn't have direct contact or control on the customer. Okay. He have no idea who's purchasing the product. When I say who's purchasing, the person who's actually paying and buying the product. Okay. He doesn't know the direct problems customers face when they interact with the purchaser or the seller. So this is B2C brand. Now, if you are talking about D2C brand, I would say a good example, very good example, could be Boat or Lenskart, or maybe Wakefit or Sleeping Head or Sleepyhead. So these are all the brands which have understood that there are multiple parties in between, and the cost is on the customer. Okay. Right? Manufacturer manufactures at X cost. He sells it at X plus 1 to the distributor or the seller, and he adds another X plus 1 and he sells to the customer, right? Okay. So by the time customer buys it, it is 3 times the product manufacturing cost, right? Yep. Now, if you look at the D2C brand, what the companies are trying to do is they are eliminating the middleman. Thereby, customer has to pay only 1/3 of the cost which he usually pays to the B2C product, right? Okay. So this way, both of them have advantage. Customer doesn't have to pay the the warehouse cost or the logistics cost or the other cost which is involved in between. Yep. And the D2C brand doesn't have to pay a lot of money in warehousing, keeping, and all of that. So what they typically do is maybe they could follow lean method like the Toyota. Only when there is an order they manufacture, or they keep a very lean inventory and they replenish or they fulfill it when they have X plus 1 orders. Okay. So that way they have an advantage. So that is the difference between D2C and B2B brand. So to answer your question, how D2C brand can market themselves, or
let's say I'm starting from scratch.
Okay.
Like, let's say I just have an idea for a product and I've got maybe some funding, or I've bootstrapped a product or service based company. Like, how should I approach from scratch?
Right. So first thing is you have to understand who are your target market, who is your customer. Now, before we deep dive into what you are going to what is your product, what is your service, my questions would be, as a business owner, what am I solving? What is the problem am I solving? Right? There are hundreds of problems. Just because Swiggy is the market leader today, I cannot build another Swiggy. right? It wouldn't be right. But I can build maybe businesses like Zepto. I'm just giving an example before Zepto existed, right? They two are two different things, but they do the same thing. They deliver. But Zepto can deliver things in 10 minutes. Swiggy can deliver you from the nearest restaurants, or maybe now they also deliver groceries. But there is a difference between both of them, right? So that way, what I need to understand is what is the gap or what is the problem I'm trying to solve, and whether customers are willing to pay for it. If they are willing to pay for it, if there is a need in the market, then I will go ahead and do my research with respect to product and see that how I can give a better value proposition to my customer, and how I can work out on the costing, and how I can work out on the service aspect. Since it is a D2C brand, I cannot go to the manufacturer and sit at his office to get my product serviced or to solve my problem.
True.
Typically, that's not possible. So what I will look at it is, as a D2C brand, I am going to see that what are the barriers, what is stopping a customer to buy my product. If you look at Wakefit, they are, like I said before, 1/3 cost than a traditional mattress company which you can buy.
True.
And also, they give you an advantage of 90-day return policy or 100 nights return policy. So first problem which you will have in your mind as a customer is, I'm not paying thrice the cost, number one. Two, if I'm not happy, I can return the product anytime, and I have 100 good days to experiment it. How many people do you think will actually return the product after 100 days? They would forget about it.
True.
Even if not, your problem is solved the first day itself, right? So that way, you need to understand the problem, identify your opportunities, package them in a way that you can service the product, or you assure that your product is of good quality, and then you're good to go.
Okay. So I think it's mostly about trust. Like ultimately, it comes to trust.
Of course.
In some way, I think people buy products or services.
Right.
People they trust.
One thing is trust. Another thing is how confidence, the kind of confidence you can inflict in the mind of your consumer to buy your product. And then they trust, and how you can encash it. Like, say, for example, I'm Wakefit. I come up with this new mattress, and I sold it to my first 10 customers. And I go back to my first 10 customers, I get their feedback. Now I promote this 10 feedback to all the other 100 people. And that is how I say that, look, there are 10 people who trust my brand.
Social proof.
Exactly. So I have something to show them, and then I multiply it. Then the word of mouth and all of that happens, and then the branding goes on and on, like a snowball effect. Right.
Now, let's say I want to build a B2B business. So how would my approach be different?
Okay. Right. See, B2B is a tricky business. My expertise is usually in B2B, but I have known B2C as well, because I try to explore how different the market is. What would I do if I were in their shoes, and how would I look at things differently? So B2B, like I said, it's a different ball game, and you need to understand how long you want to be in the market, or what market you want to be in, what kind of positioning you want to have for your brand, and how does you or your customer want to perceive your branding as. Based on that, you look at identifying the opportunities to promote your product, right? Because since B2B is as a name says, your funnel is very big. It's not like a niche market which is a targeted audience. It's like an open market. You have to show, sometimes you have to shoot arrows in the dark and identify who's your customer. But it's not like everybody cannot be your customer. Of course, you have to target and segment to a particular level. But after that, it is still a vast game, or a mass game, I would say. So let's take an example of Coca-Cola here.
Okay.
Coca-Cola did advertisement in the past. They are doing advertisement in the present. They will still do advertisement in the future. Now, why do they want to do that? Because their audience is too large. It's too large. You cannot identify, or you cannot restrict to certain place or certain timeline. They have to be there everywhere.
Like mass media.
Like a mass media. Mass media.
Focus.
Exactly. So that is the approach with B2C. You will have to, of course, shell a lot of money with respect to marketing and branding, but that's the key. If you look at Zomato or Swiggy, they are a B2C brand. right? They don't cook, but they have different aggregators on their platform, and they cater to the customer, which is the end user. So they have to be in the market. They have to keep promoting themselves, be it Diwali, be it Christmas, or be it any time or any festival of the month or the year. They have to be there in the market, and I would say that's a very long term or a long thinking game in the market, Karthik.
According to you,
Yeah.
now we have spoken quite a bit about D2C, B2C, and B2B.
Right.
So, what do you think is that one most important factor in
Okay.
marketing that determines that can make or break things?
Okay. See, first of all, one important aspect every marketer should have is to understand the need of the customer, right? So everything boils down to that one aspect: what a customer needs, what is he willing to pay,
Does he really need?
does he really need that?
Need that, yeah.
Right? So we did have two-wheelers, four-wheelers, which works on the fuel. Now this new EV concept is trending. People need to understand: do they need it? Will they pay for it? But that's the only option going forward. You cannot stop that. But before that, there is a switch which the EV guys are doing. They did not just say that buy my EV. They said, I'm going to give you tax deductions and all of that. So that way, what I'm trying to say here is, as a marketer, you need to understand who's your customer, whether there is a problem in the market, whether customers are willing to pay for it, and what market you want to target, and are you clear about the solution or the value proposition which you are going to offer? Is it going to solve the problem, right? So sometimes assumptions can create confusions. We assume that I think this will help, but actually when it comes to the market, people might not pay for it. When you ask them, do you need this? They would say, yes, I need this. So sometimes your research could also give you wrong answers. But I would say that be in the market, put yourself in the customer's shoes. You think yourself that, will I pay for this? Is this actually a problem? Is it a problem to me, first of all? If I think this is a problem to me, and if I think that there needs to be a solution, and if I am willing to pay for something, that's how you should start thinking as a marketer and create solutions.
Okay. So this brings me to my next question with respect to founders.
Right.
So I think that founders, my opinion is that founders need to be good marketers.
Yeah, of course.
Is it an absolute prerequisite, or have there been any instances wherein people, maybe the founder is just a techie, and
Right.
if you see Elon Musk, right?
Yeah.
If you look at his earlier interviews
Yeah.
and him promoting any product
Right.
that Tesla or
Yeah.
any of his entities have made,
Right.
He's not the most comfortable guy on camera. He's
Yeah.
not the most savvy guy to promote products.
Right.
But still he has that
Yeah.
thing in him.
Yeah.
So how, and on the other hand, there are people
Yeah.
who are like born pros. It's very natural for them.
Right.
Like, how do you think about it?
Well, see, as a founder, what you rightly mentioned is an example of Elon Musk. He's a techie. Of course, he's a camera shy person. But one thing we need to look at is his confidence about any product, right? Be it Tesla, be it SpaceX, or anything. If you look at it, the passion he has, that is talking, not Elon Musk. True. Right? When somebody says founder, this is the first person which comes to my mind, which is no one than Apple, right? So now
Steve Jobs.
Apple, Steve Jobs. So
Yeah.
that's the first person which comes to my mind when someone says CEO or founder. If you look at Apple, Steve Jobs did not invent anything at all.
True.
It was Wozniak, his CTO or the partner. But Steve Jobs was able to package his product in a better way and reach out to his customers. So he created a value, right? So as a founder, you should be able to create a value for your product and pitch it to your customer.
Okay.
Anything and everything is sellable if you are confident, and if you know that okay, let's say that this market is not working for you. Typically anybody would say that this market is not working for a product, let's shut it down. That's not the attitude of a founder or a CEO. What he should do is he should identify why this product did not work here, or what additions should I make to my product. Should I change the color? Should I change the message, or should I have to go to another geographical location to make my product better? Now, this attitude is one thing which every founder should have or instill within them to be a successful marketer. When they have this confident about their product, that's when they can sell their product in a better way, I would say, Karthik.
True. I mean, that's absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
Well, you spoke of selling. I mean, we have briefly touched about sales as well.
Right.
So, which brings me to this really, often misunderstood terminology that we consider sales and marketing together.
Right.
But what is the difference? Like, how do you look at sales and marketing?
Right. Okay. See, everybody and anybody thinks that sales and marketing are one and the same, but sales is a subset of marketing, right? Marketing is kind of an ocean, and sales is a part of marketing, right? Now, I sell a product. I have a beautiful product. How I sell this product with features, with values, with price, everything to a customer, that is my sales tactics. Sales is with respect to how I can get money from a customer. I'm only worried about exchanging my product with a consumer for exchange of cash or money in return. Okay. Now, this is sales, right? How a company or a brand helps this sales guy to sell a product, that becomes marketing, right? Now, let's take an example of, let's say, cars. Let's say somebody wants to buy a car. Okay. So what he will do is he will do his research at home about which car is good, which brand is good. Maybe let's take two different examples of Hyundai and Maruti. So somebody wants to buy a car between these two brands. What he does is he goes to a store and he wants to test drive. He wants to test drive both the cars. Now, I have done my homework. So brand has helped me through marketing, and it has given me enough information about the product. When I go to look at the car or test drive the car, it is the sales guy who should know what is my need, and he should answer my questions in a way that he makes me buy the product. Now, this is sales. But as a brand, it is my duty to give him information what he needs to sell the product to the customer. Whether he buys Maruti or Hyundai, that is up to him. But as a company, through marketing, I'm giving him the tools to make sales. So this is how marketing and sales are two different aspects.
Wonderful. So now let's talk about branding.
Right.
We have touched up about branding in the past with this conversation, but how do you approach branding?
Again, branding is a part of marketing. What branding really means is that you add a value to a particular name. When I say Coca-Cola, you perceive something, right? When I say Apple, you perceive simplicity, simple design, simple packaging, good quality products which you can rely upon, right? When I say Dell, you have a value around a product. Now, how did this come to your mind? This came to your mind over a period of time. That is what the brand wanted you to remember. That is what the brand created around its own logo, right? So a personality or a persona is added to a brand, attached to a company's product or services, and then it is communicated through different activities. Okay. It could be maybe the colors, right? If you look at Coca-Cola, it is black and white, which comes to your mind. If it is Apple, it is of course white, because that's how they want their packaging to be, aesthetic and simple. So when you add these qualities with respect to, it could be maybe colors, it could be maybe the fonts, it could be maybe the brochure or the website or the brand value itself, that becomes an identity of a brand, which is branding, right? Okay. Now, branding can be different for different products. If you look at Coca-Cola or Pepsi, their logos have changed over a period of time, right? That is rebranding, because with respect to time, with respect to their target audience, with respect to the technology, they have tried to reposition or rebrand themselves with different kind of designs or aesthetics, I would say. So branding can add value if you want to create a name or rebrand or reposition yourself in a different way, maybe to a different market, different country, different geography, or a different product category itself. That is when a branding is very important to you, Karthik.
I think an essential part of this brand story is the storytelling aspect.
Correct. Absolutely.
So how do brands, or how do you think of storytelling?
Okay, I will again go back to my example of Apple, right? Steve Jobs. What would anybody remember whenever Apple wants to launch a product? What do you think everybody remembers? It's Steve Jobs, right? He would be in his black T-shirt and denims and shoes, walking on the stage, explaining why people should buy the product and all of that, right? So why did he do that, right? So he did not just sell a product. He did not manufacture product and he said that go ahead and buy my product. It is very good and very beautiful. He did not do that. What he did instead is he took time. He called in audience and it was like a show to the entire world. And it was like a story of a product. It could be iPhone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or iPod or iPad or Mac or anything. It was a story for him, right? And it was from bottom of his heart. So why this happened is when you work with closely in manufacturing or producing or creating a service or a product which you are very happy about, you can create a story and you try to connect this with the problem of a customer. When you try to connect this with the problem of a customer, you tend to get their attention and that story stays with them forever. And you don't have to sell after that. Once you're done with the speech, people will go ahead and buy your product. So I would say that storytelling is a very important aspect for anything and everything. Even for as an individual, if I have to market myself, if I want to get a job, I need to have a very good storytelling for myself.
Correct.
If I can, if I can introduce myself in a better way, I'm sold. So I would say that storytelling becomes a very important aspect, not just in marketing, even in daily life, but it's a very still a very important thing in marketing, Karthik.
Okay, so that means how well a story is told, can it just determine whether a brand is successful or a brand is failure? So what determines the success or failure of a brand?
Okay, right. That's a tricky question. Now, what determines a success and failure of a customer? I mean, a brand. What determines the success and failure of a product or a brand are customers, right? Now, if I have to give you an example of Tata Nano, Tata Nano is a failure. We all know it failed in Indian market, right? Even though Mr. Ratan Tata had a better story, I'm not sure if you have heard the story why he started Tata Nano at the first place.
Yeah, I think I remember the story.
He was driving
and he saw a couple,
family
rather, on the
exactly on a two-wheeler, a family of 4 people. They hit his car, and the family was all over on the street. He felt so bad, and he wanted to manufacture a car which anybody who can afford a two-wheeler can buy, and they can ride under a shelter of rain, sunlight, and they can safely travel. So this was the intention of Ratan Tata, which is heart touching, but it failed. There are other political reasons as well behind it, but I'm not going to touch upon those.
But I think it was one word over there because I think they positioned themselves as the world's cheapest car.
Exactly. That's my point. Exactly.
Being the most affordable car.
Of course.
I think words make a lot of difference.
Exactly. Now, that was not a bad product. Tata is not a bad brand. It was not expensive again. Why it failed? Because it was positioned as a cheap car by the brand itself. Customer did not say this is a cheap product. When customer feels it is cheap, your brand is successful. When a brand positions itself as a cheap product, nobody want to buy a cheap product. It is the ego. Nobody wants to buy a cheap product from the brand itself when it says it is cheap. So the positioning was wrong, not the product. So here, whatever we spoke in the past, everything was right, intact. But one wrong word, just one word, 5-letter word, ruined an entire business industry, I would say, right? But now again, success and failure is not just with how you position, what product you solve. Customers should also perceive your product in a they should welcome it, right? Another example I would say is eBay, which did not do well in India, right? That's the first e-commerce which strikes my mind. True. Because that's the first e-commerce we all grew up seeing, right? I never bought a thing on eBay.
I bought one.
Yeah, good.
I got a lens, I mean, it was a lens and it was supposed to come in from China.
Very nice.
And here it was costing 31K.
Uh-huh.
And on eBay, after shipping everything, it was 19K. I was like, okay,
that's a huge difference. Right.
I was like, okay,
right.
I thought I'll be scammed. But the seller had really good ratings and, all of that, thousands of ratings. And
exactly.
I was like, okay,
so
let me just take the risk.
That's what I'm trying to say. We used to think that maybe it is a scam, right? It is cheaper than I can imagine and believe.
True.
So if eBay would have launched now, they would have been successful. But they launched at a time where people did not believe buying online, and they did not stick for a long period of time. They gave up too soon, or they did not rather reposition or rebrand when Amazon came or when Flipkart came. They had the advantage of having technically built company. They had tech, they had logistics, they had everything, but they did not sustain for a long period of time. So wrong timing also matters. So if I have to summarize failure and success of a product, there are many aspects. What timing you are launching your product? If it is too soon or too late, you're not going to make it in the market. What geographical locations you are going to launch? If I have to say Innova is used as a taxi in other countries. I have not seen a Innova in entire Dubai. But if you go to Southeast Asian countries like Thailand, Singapore, or Vietnam, they are used as taxis. But if you look at Innova in India, that's like a luxury, trademark for having a car, right?
True.
So that way, what market you are in, what timing you are going to launch your product, and how you are positioning your brand, all these matters. So as a business owner, it becomes very, it is an interesting thing for you to explore well before you enter, and after you enter, keep up with the pace with your competitors, be with the trend, and make sure that you are in the game and you are in the trend for a long time. Only then you are going to survive. If not, then you become another food panda or tiny owl, which is washed out of the market. Swiggy still stood in the market, and they are there even today. So that's my answer for a successful or a failure of a brand.
Okay. So, I remember our starting conversation regarding building a brand organically.
Right.
So, in the world of a lot of venture capital money, we see Zerodhas also. We see Zerodhas. We see a lot of, you know Swiggy. And you know the numbers, right? I mean, the numbers are not very great.
Right.
But, let's not get specific about brands here.
Yeah.
But I just want to understand, how do you think, or how should a brand think of organic versus paid traffic,
right,
to any of its channels?
Yeah.
How should a brand think about it?
Right. So again, there are multiple aspects in here. If you want immediate results, the only way is paid. If you are looking at building a long-term sales funnel for yourself, organic is the way, right? So you need to understand what you need, whether you can wait, whether you want immediate results, what businesses you are in, what industries you are in. For example, if you are a movie director and your movie is going to be released in next 3 months, you cannot sit and wait for organic results to give results.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. They can't do SEO or anything.
They can't do SEO.
Can't.
They have to definitely invest in paid advertisement channels and get or drive immediate results. But if you are a B2B business, you have all the time. I don't mean forever. What I mean is, you can explore SEO, you can explore Google My Business and all of that, right? So you need to understand what kind of business, what kind of industries you are in, and you have to have a balance of both. What I say is, I usually say all my clients as well, try for 1 month. Try for 1 month and see the results. We do both organic and paid campaigns. We tell them that try both paid and organic methods. Organic is the key for long-term gain. But if you want to see some results during maybe your seasons, or maybe during the peak seasons or the festival time, you can definitely try out paid campaigns as well. But keep in mind, initially you can try paid campaigns, but parallelly build your organic method. Right? You should have your organic channel in place, which you are building or creating side by side. For immediate results, you can definitely invest and try with organic results. With respect to ROI, definitely organic gives you a better ROI when compared with paid campaigns. But initially, to drive some results or the results or to validate your product with the market, you can definitely try out paid campaigns as well, Karthik.
Okay. So what are the typical ROI percentages for paid traffic? Like, let's say, I mean, what is it for Google Ads, for example? Like in general, like, is there any particular good number or bad number?
Okay. See, paid campaigns, Google Ads, typically you should have, it depends on, again, if you are B2C or B2B.
Okay.
If you are B2B,
the ticket value
is higher.
Correct.
So the number of leads you would typically get is low. If it is B2C, of course, the number of clicks or hits can be directly proportional to the number of sales. But it is not same with B2B. So first of all, you will get very low number of hits, very low leads. Let's say you spend maybe 20,000 a month. If you're a B2B business, you end up anywhere getting 100 leads, or let's say practically maybe 30 leads a month.
Okay.
Right? And you end up selling to one customer. Right? So your ROI, if you are an interior company, your ROI is 100x.
Correct.
Or 200x. If you are a digital marketing company, your ROI is 10x. Right? So that way, I would not give any numbers or any percentage of conversion here. But what I would say is that you need to drive at least 3x or 5x results of what you invest on paid campaigns. And you need to know the end results before you try it out. So it's not like blindly you invest some money and see, let me try whether it gives me result or not. It cannot work that way. You need to have some figure in mind. Only then you can drive a tangible results, I would say, Karthik.
Okay. Yeah. I think I can definitely relate with this. You know, when we started Work Theatre, our Google ad spend was quite a lot.
Right.
And then we weren't getting the expected results. I think first 3 months, I think we did a lot of Google ads mostly.
Yeah.
And then later we switched over to a bit of Instagram and that kind of stuff. And now it's just organic. Everything is organic. We don't spend any money.
On that. So that's you did try. Yeah. You did try all the channels
and different budgets also.
Exactly. Yeah. So finally you figured out and you found a way to generate leads for your business. So long as you can figure out a way to keep your business alive and generate leads, that is important.
Correct.
Whether it is organic or paid, but you have eventually gotten there. So that's what every business should try and not shy away from trying different methods of marketing. Because like I said in the first discussion itself, what works for you doesn't work for me. So you have to try and see what works for you and pick that up. So if 3 things out of 10 work for you, focus on those 3, leave the 7, and this will give you the result you want.
Okay. But how about word of mouth? Is there any? I think it's one of the best forms of. But how do you look at it? I think is it industry specific in your experience?
Okay. So word of mouth is it's a very, very, very tricky thing, because if I'm happy about something, I don't talk about it. I forget it. So if I'm happy about your service, I'm happy. I go back home and I'm busy with my daily schedule.
Okay.
You do one wrong thing, I will do everything possible to write about it, from Google, Google My Business to Instagram to Facebook to Twitter to whatnot. So people have changed over a period of time. Of course, there are people who go ahead and take their time out of their busy schedule and write good about you.
Okay.
But the percentage of that is less.
Correct.
If I'm not happy, I'm the first person to go on Amazon, take out of my busy time and write all the bad things about the product, make sure nobody buys it, or I want a free replacement of the product, or I want cash back.
Yeah, you try everything in your power.
Yeah. So that way, word of mouth has a different meaning these days. Even though there is negative review, people know whether it is paid or unhappy customer, and they don't care, because even Microsoft has negative reviews or wrong word of mouth. That doesn't stop anybody from buying them, right?
Okay.
Until and unless you can create a brand which people can trust and which has brand loyalty, you don't have to worry about word of mouth. But at your initial stage of business, that is something which is going to give you a very good number of results, right? You don't have to spend on Google ads. You don't have to spend your time in organic things. You serve better one customer. he definitely forgets about you, but you have to go back to him and ask, can I get one reference?
True.
If he is happy, if you have made sure you have served him good and gave you or promised him or delivered the results which you promised, he can give you one reference. And that is half sold there, because it came from somebody which they believe or whom they trust. So that way you can actually create $1 million business through word of mouth. If you are confident about your services or your product, it is definitely possible to create a business through word of mouth as well. But keep your customers and their mentality as well in mind when you do this.
Nice. Yeah. That's very interesting. Yeah. And now let's talk about how we spoke about negative publicity that a brand gets online or offline, whatever it is. How can a brand or let's say an agency or someone who represents the brand, who's doing the work for the brand, how can he or she counter the situation?
Right. Okay. So like I said, everyone has negative publicity. Now, as a startup, they panic, right? They panic. Oh my God, I have 10 negative reviews. I'm gone. My business is gone to the dogs. I can't do anything. It's not true. First of all, we need to understand if it is a genuine negative review or if it is from a competitor, which so happens these days. You cannot identify. You would have not even served a customer by that name.
Correct.
And you would see 10 negative reviews about it, right? This happened with one of our customer. I want to give this example. So they are an interior design company, and they charged about 50,000 or some money for designing and few other aspects. It was delivered. Client is not happy.
Okay.
So this customer of ours, they did give 2-3 revisions. Still, the customer is not happy, and they want this money to be refunded entirely. Now, as a business, I have put some time, money, efforts into designing it and try to cater to a customer. He's not happy. What I can do is I am willing to give you one more free revision or 2 more free revision and make you happy. But that customer is not happy with this design entirely, and he wants the entire amount as a refund, which is not possible as a business owner. Now, what this customer did is he went on to Google and he wrote a negative review. So our customer did not respond to it. Rather, we did not respond to it, right? And then he went through his wife's account. He posted another negative review, right? So we were very subtle about that, and we went and said that, hey, I know that you have a problem. Let's resolve it. So the other customer was not ready to resolve the problem. What he wanted is refund.
Okay.
So he created another fake account. And he went and wrote the same thing.
Okay.
So anybody, typically, if they can read it out, they can make out that all 3 reviews are same.
It's the same thing.
The theme is same. The problem is same. So as a business owner, first, don't go to an extent where you get negative reviews. First of all, try and solve it before it is escalated to such an extent. Number one, even if it goes, try to sit with the customer and see if we can solve the problem.
Okay.
If you can maybe give him a free coupon or a voucher or something like that, because negativity spreads faster than positivity. Yeah, so that way, sit with him and see that if you can solve his problem or kind of compensate his problem with coupons or freebies or something like that. Try to do within your expertise or area of your budget if you can do something to counteract with that. If not, just go ahead and address and be realistic about what happened there and write your side of the story, because every problem has 2 stories, and I think people are wise enough to make choices between what would have happened and they can decide whether this is true or not. And that is how we can address these negative reviews, Karthik.
So I think it's a similar way similar way to proceed. If at all, it's a paid negative review.
Yeah.
I think it's better to explain that, okay, fine. First of all, you're not our customer.
Correct.
According to our record.
Exactly. So this happened with another customer of ours who is into courses. They do this makeup tutorials or classes or training and all of that. So what happened is they when we were running our paid campaigns during month of March or something, we started getting negative reviews every single day. And when we checked with our customer, there was no record of that review in the registration record as well. Okay. So what we did is we went to Google reviews and we asked, hey, I'm I don't want to take the name. I don't see any record of your name. Could you please help me with the registration number or the name you provided during the admission process? And there was no response, right? So this clearly gives you a view that your competitor is trying to put you down, right? They want to take the top position in Google. For that, they are going ahead and ruining business of the other people in the market. So this way, I think we should not just keep Google reviews itself as a major decision maker for our customers. There should be many other aspects, and also Google reviews should be one of the aspect, or reviews as a whole should be one of the aspect and not the only aspect to make decisions to any business, I would say.
Okay. Yeah. So now let's say that Google realizes that, I mean, the tech of Google realizes that this one is a negative review. Would it show the business down in the results?
No,
anyways?
no, no.
Doesn't, right?
No. Google is also smart enough.
Fair enough.
It has counted so many people in its lifetime, and Google is smart enough to understand that I am getting same reviews from same IP address. It has its own algorithm. I'm not sure how it works typically, but it doesn't work like that.
Google can safeguard us in some
Google can definitely safeguard you in a certain way. It also gives you certain tools to report certain reviews. If you feel a review is wrong, or if it is instilling or instigating negativity about a particular person, so they have a certain questionnaire. You can actually report to Google, and if Google gets n number of reports for the same post, they will go ahead and bring it down. If not, you don't have the authority to do that, but that is a way where you can do it. But I would say that it doesn't mean all the latest reviews should be on top. Doesn't mean all the negative reviews should be on top. Google can smartly shuffle and expand it in a way that it feels this is the right way to show to the people. Yeah.
That's super insightful again.
Yes.
So, these are things that I think all of us would have encountered at some point, especially if you're trying to build something.
Yeah.
All of these are things that you need that kind of insights.
Yeah. Yeah.
Based on experience.
Yeah, we would not have given importance to these aspects, but like you said rightly, we would have definitely come across all these aspects. And I think I'm happy if this helps to anybody who is in business or who wants to do business.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now I have one final question for you.
Sure.
So we are almost at the end of the podcast,
right.
But I won't let you go until
no. You can shoot me with more questions. I'm ready. I'm all yours today.
Yeah. So based on your experience, let's say someone wants to become a marketer.
Yeah.
Let's say whether he's a founder or someone who wants to build his own or her own marketing practice. Let's say it's an agency or working for a brand. So what advice do you have them? Like, do you have for them? Do you have any tools or resources that they can benefit from?
Okay, so certainly there are some tools which helps marketer or business owners if they want to manage their marketing themselves. But before that, there is one skill which is very a basic, I would say, which is the sales skills, and that is the one which will drive you and give you results. So any other skills can be learned. Sales skills is something which can also be taught, but it should be a part of yourself. I would say that's the first thing. And there are definitely few tools which we use as well in our business, such as for content. Earlier we were dependent on external resources. We still use them. We don't want to snatch their job and give it to the AI. We still have content writers, but if you don't have enough resources to invest into, you can look at Bard. That's one tool by Google which you can use for content writing, and you can also use ChatGPT, right? But you need to know the art of using the tools, right? There are n number of tools. You need to learn the tips and tricks to use them to the fullest to your business. And for designing as a business, we use Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator. Our team uses that. But if you want to quickly design something and use the free tools over there, then I think Canva is a go-to tool for you to design. Also, Poster My Wall, that's a useful tool for you. And if you do video editing, I think V and Player is a basic, simple tool for you to edit your videos.
Okay.
And if you want to schedule your social media postings, I think Buffer is one tool which you can use. And for a startup, if you want to collaborate with your team, I think Slack is one of the free tool which you can use. So all the tools which I mentioned has paid and organic free versions as well, but it has its own limitations. But that would suffice your need as a marketer or entrepreneur, Karthik.
Nice. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Karthik.
Conversation has been like an eye opener in many ways, and it has helped me develop a lot of insights like, very deeply
Right.
into the ocean of marketing as you referred. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that was a very apt description about marketing.
Right.
And I hope with this we have covered quite a few, basic and advanced terminologies.
Yeah.
And it was really nice. I mean, the best part is I really liked the way you brought brands to life
Right.
throughout the conversation, and you were able to really connect and help people figure out things
Right.
from the ground up.
Yeah.
That's something that I really enjoyed with this conversation.
No, it is actually, like I said, it's an honor for me to be here because when I started a startup, I had nobody to mentor me or guide me in the right way. So this has been within me from many years, and I still do that. I definitely help startups who need real help. Under my capacity, what I can do, I'm always willing to do that. And I think through this medium, through your session today, I think I hope to reach out to a larger audience and help them. And maybe even if it helps 10%, I would be really happy and glad about this session, Karthik. So thank you for inviting me here, and it was a wonderful session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks again.
Thank you.
I'm sure you will benefit a lot of people.
Definitely.
The audience as well as the customers.
Sure. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.